Starting another week out here at the farmhouse, and as I said in the last video, I needed to clean up all of this stuff that I tore out from the stairs, so got that done, and I'm getting ready to start back here on the front, what used to be the bedroom, and got to get everything cleaned up out of there and then start tearing the flooring out of there so that I can repair any of the damaged floorboards under there, the joist, and any structure that may be damaged under there. And then we'll be getting ready for subfloor going in. So start looking like a new place. So this is kind of cool. This board here was either one of the bottom stair treads or something. It was just laying in here at the bottom of the stairs. But check this out. Missouri license plate from 1948. I wonder if there's a way to check any records on that. I don't know if we have that ability or not, but that'd be kind of cool to find out. I assume that belongs to one of our family members from way back when. So I got all the big stuff out of here that was going to be in the way of pulling the floor up. Most of this can just fall down in the dirt and then we'll shovel it out later. But I also have to take this wall out because it's sitting on top of the floor, and also it's not really attached to anything. I'm not even sure it's attached to the floor. Yeah. So, yeah, so I'm going to take that out, get it out of the way so we can get the floor pulled up, and then we'll just have to rebuild this wall later. So, it's not load bearing, so no big deal. Take it out, and I've got all the rest of that stuff tore out there. And then I will come back and cut out these joists here and get them put back together like I did all the rest of those. And that'll be ready for subfloor. obviously I have to finish the rest of these joists over here. So once that's done and get that subfloor in, then I can build new stairs and have access back up there. Okay, well, it's about 96 degrees, give or take, with about 8,000% humidity. So I think the heat index is like 115. But I got all that plywood brought in. So there's 45 sheets. They weigh anywhere from 75 to 80 pounds a piece. So that's about 4,000-ish pounds, give or take a couple hundred pounds. So that tells me that that floor is going to hold up. Oh, there's also the weight of a bunch of lumber right here. But nobody said anything, but I thought there might be some concerns about the way I did the flooring, where I just left the old joists in there. It's kind of hard to see because I got them all covered up now, but and then I just nailed a new one next to it and into the wall. I still have to get joist hangers over here for anybody that's worried about that weight holding up, but so 4,000 pounds here sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4 joists, and each of those joists have, I don't know, probably 15 nails each. That one down there has a lot. So the shear strength, the working shear strength of those nails is about 120 to 150 pounds maybe. So if we assume there's 15 nails in each joist, that's 1,500 pounds per joist that can carry, plus all those joists are actually sitting on this lower beam here. So not too worried about this. It's actually a really good test because it's like parking a truck in here, and that's more weight than is ever going to be in here on this floor. Even, by the time you have a refrigerator and a dishwasher and a range and all those kind of things, I mean, you're still only looking at maybe 1,500 pounds, and that'll be spread out over the whole kitchen. Probably have seen in a couple of the other videos that, like, under the front door, you see some light, and under where this other door used to be, there were these old stones that made the front porch for both of those doors, and family members claimed them, so they could use in their landscaping and such, just as a memory from living here, from Grandpa or whatever. But when we dug those out, they were much deeper than we thought, and pushing with the skid steer and the backhoe, we kind of pushed some of those stones in a little bit. So before I put the flooring down, I'm going to try to knock those stones back out and mortar them in place so they can't move again. Got the old rotten joist out from this side, and I dug out a trench there just a little bit to get down to some undisturbed soil, and then I've got a stone, and I found a block, and so I've got this 20-ton bottle jack that I put under there, and I actually am lifting up the weight of the house so that it will settle that block down into the ground, and hopefully it'll find a base where it won't push down anymore. That way it can carry the load. So I'm going to let it sit there for a while, and then I'll probably do the same thing with that stone there, and then build the floor across there. I may do the same thing a couple of times along the way just to make sure we've got a good foundation here, and then just shim up whatever I need to fill in the space. So Evan is here trying to fix these stones. That's what they're called. He's got him a board there, and he's pounding away. About got it. They're looking pretty good. This side is pretty close. A few more hits here, a few more hits there. You'll never even know that we knocked those out. Alright, well, we got all the joists in, so it's starting to look like something. So Evan got those stones under the doorways pushed back in place. So we're getting close to being ready for subfloor. Alright, so Evan is in the process of raking back all the junk that was underneath here from the foundation so that we can seal this thing up, because the last thing we want is to have a nice new airtight house and have wind blowing in through the cracks in the foundation and then up through the floor. So we're going to do what we can to seal up that foundation. Okay, so I've got one of these froth packs that is supposed to do about 200 square feet. They call it board feet, but it's the same as square feet. It's a two-part mixture. It mixes in the nozzle and becomes foam when it sprays out. And these are, I don't know, they're kind of questionable about whether you should use them or not on certain things, but they do have some places that they're good for, and I think that sealing a foundation is going to be one of those places. So that's what we're going to try to do, and it should fill in all of the cracks where you see light coming through, so that should allow us to not have any wind blowing through when we get finished with this house. So they make this thing fairly idiot proof. You have to connect these hoses up, but there's a red hose and a blue hose, and it's kind of hard to tell, but there's also a red can and a blue can. So you should be able to do that without getting it wrong. And then they even include this little wrench so you can tighten these up. Just like this. And then you're ready to go. And just like that, in about 15 minutes, we end up with a nice sealed up foundation. So no wind will be blowing through there. And the nice thing about these kits is when you're done, you can save these to reuse. So what you do is you have these mixing tips. You can see that's where all the fluid mixes in there and turns into foam. And I have a brand new one here. They give you a whole bag of these things. So when you're done, you pop that out of there, wipe your gun off, and then while you're doing that, all your material is hardening back up in there. And then you put your tip back in, and it seals everything off so nothing is mixing anymore. And when you need it again next time, you get it back out and use it, which is great because I still have to do this back section of the house. But I was just trying to get the front section done so we can start putting subfloor down. Back here, we're going to have plumbing and stuff, so I haven't got that far yet. But I'd like to get subfloor down in the front so we can start moving all our materials over there and get them out of the way. So that's the plan. Well, all right, everyone. Check out how smoothly I'm walking across this floor. Not worried about stepping on joist because we have some subfloor down. We've got about quarter of the way, maybe a third of the way of the subfloor done. And so this is getting exciting here. We're going to be able to move all of our materials that are laying around over on joists over there. We'll be able to move them over here, get them out of the way. We'll get the rest of this subfloor done real quick starting next week, and then we'll start building walls, building stairs. And speaking of stairs, we'll be moving upstairs, I guess, getting that tore out and getting these ceiling joists fixed, and we're moving right along. So it's been an exciting week for this, getting this done. So that's going to do it for this week, and appreciate you watching as always, and I'll see you next time.